Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mumbai, and thank you so much for everyone who has logged in. It's Friday evening, and we have an action-packed next 1 hour for all of you. This is our lockdown times with the Mumbai APER launch. Ideally, we would have done this in the physical world with all of us meeting, connecting. But I think COVID-19 has taught us that there is a world that is possible parallelly. We've learned to embrace it, and that pretty much is what our webinar today is all about. It's about collaboration and connections. It's about connecting all of us using technology. COVID-19 taught us, and here we are. What's beautiful is that as everything that is unique about this city, whether it's the glamour, whether it's Bollywood, whether it's sport, whether it's a melting pot, call us a financial capital, call us the city of dreams or the city that never sleeps, we have everything. And with that note, Mumbai brings in everything. I have this honor to welcome all my panelists, who's who in the education space. And I'm going to say a little bit of pressure on introduce everyone, but I'm just going to do it the way I know them. We have the Iron Lady, the First Lady of Early Childhood Education, and also the brainchild behind the Association for Primary Education and Research, Dr. Swati Popat Vats.
Hello, everybody. Namaskar.
Now. She's become an author. She's just issued the ECA guidelines for all of us to get ready to embrace the world beyond COVID-19. So the woman is extremely busy, and it's an honor and a privilege to welcome you to start our Mumbai chapter proceedings.
Thank you.
We also have, someone who has actually so much work with international education in this city, helped so many people set up from a grassroots level, someone who's generous, who's always available, and a great troubleshooter. She is the legendary Dohadwalla. Welcome. Is also the vice president for the Mumbai chapter and kind of my mentor as the Mumbai territory head to make sure we're on track, we innovate, we think beyond. And I dare say with her enterprise, she will keep all of us on our toes. So that's the big plus of the Mumbai chapter. Looking forward to hearing from you, Farzana ma'am. We then have Jehan Manekshaw. Well, the man needs no introduction. If there's a word drama, or if there's another word for theatre arts, it would be Jehan. By the way, he's just sent me a message saying, calm down, slowly, you look like that's Jehan for you. I've worked with him for 2 decades. He has transformed lives with what he brings to the as a partner, Tasneem Fatehi. Jehan's the one who talks a lot, which is why he's in front. Tasneem works behind the scene. We're going to hear it from you, Jehan, because I did. As parents, as educators, we need advice on what to do with our children, on how to teach. Drama is a way forward. So thank you so much. And then we have a principal who's going to share her experience with all of us. We've discussed this online teaching, online learning, pros, cons, debates, discussion. I dare say there's a lot already in circulation on WhatsApp today. Shubhadra Shanoy, passionate educator, pioneering, progressive. She's just this mum who guides principal, and I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to welcome you as principal of Little Angels, beautiful school in science. Thank you. She is going to tell us a few things that she has picked up as part of the online learning and teaching. We then have a parental perspective, and this is quite frankly what Swati ma'am and Farzana ma'am talk about. It is this Bermuda Triangle. It's the educators, it's the teachers, it's the parents that are also going to come together. So we have to hear it from a parent. Parents have a voice, always have, and Tasneem Dohadwalla will share her perspective about this online learning. She's also an educator, mind you, so she dons two hats. Interesting to hear from you. And then we're going to save the best for our two little ladies. You're joining us all the way from Ratnagiri, Kirti and Pal. Can we have them on the screen? Pal and Kirti have something for all of us as educators. How can we leave children behind? The whole purpose for this webinar is for the sake of the future in our classrooms, virtually or physically, and they represent that. They have a wish list for all of us as educators and all of us listening. Let's incorporate a few of their thoughts, and hopefully all of that gets packaged in what today we're going to declare the Mumbai roadmap for APER. It's got everything. It's got something for teachers, principals, parents, students. We hope with your blessings, this Mumbai chapter kicks off. And why don't we begin the proceedings with the Iron Lady delivering her keynote address. Oh, Swati ma'am.
So before I begin, I would like to introduce Fatema Agarkar and do the honor to informally introduce our Mumbai territory head, which is Fatema Agarkar. She's also the Vice President of the Early Childhood Association. Everybody knows her as a passionate educator, very committed to quality and very committed to bringing the three pillars in education together. So we are very proud that she took on this new responsibility of being the Mumbai territory head. And today is actually her entire baby, which is being launched, which is the Mumbai chapter. I would like to thank all the panelists, especially Farzana ma'am. Farzana ma'am, while I was listening to Fatema talk, I was thinking about our cup of coffee over which we discussed APER, and look today, it has leaders like Fatema who are going to make it a reality. And to those two little children who have joined us, Kirti and Pal, I know you must be slightly nervous. You may not be also, because this new generation is less nervous than we are. But what a fabulous idea, Fatema, to bring together all stakeholders in one program. So thank you, Fatema. Congratulations. And we are so honored that you are leading the Mumbai chapter. Friends, today is a very proud day for us. And as you can see, ECA and APER have not stopped in spite of the lockdown. We have continued our endeavor to ensure that teachers are always connected to the right research, to the right training, and to the right skill development. So that is why it is very important for everybody to become a member of ECA and APER. APER started as a dream that whatever work we are now doing for Early Childhood Association, we should also reach out to the primary teachers. Because if you notice in conferences everywhere, it is early childhood and senior secondary which get more importance. A lot more discussions happen on them. Primary is something that's forgotten, that's taken for granted. And primary teachers are not getting that support of research and of training. And that is why when Farzana ma'am came on board and we decided that, okay, I think it's time to start APER. We launched APER and today it is present in so many territories. Farzana ma'am will tell you about that. But I am so proud to be here talking to everybody on the official launch of the Mumbai chapter. And I was so thrilled to see the program laid out by Fatema, that it's not just a discussion between teachers. It's a discussion which involves a head of a school. It's a discussion which has a parent, and it has discussion with the children, the actual benefactors of the planning that you are going to be doing, the teaching that you are going to be doing, especially in the lockdown. Teachers are worried, teachers are nervous, teachers don't know whether to complete the portion or to focus on creating that bond, because it's all about recreating a bond between you and your classroom. It was different when you were face to face. It's different now. You are going through a lot more challenges now. And so this platform of APER is the right platform for all of you to lean on, to take ideas from, and to support. So I am so happy that today the topic is about collaboration. And collaboration not only between educators, not only between parents and the school, not only between the school and the children, but also we must think about collaboration between early years and primary years, because it is this bridge which is missing. You know, in many primary schools, grade 1, when it begins, we talk all these children, you are big children now. But it's only a month's difference between when they were in senior KG and now when they are in grade 1. Just 1 month. And in that 1 month, you suddenly want them to become independent, suddenly want them to do things on their own, copy from the board, etc., etc. APER is here to help everybody understand that if you really care for children and teaching, then you wouldn't bow down to traditional formats. You wouldn't be shackled in ideas that don't suit children. You would bring the change. You would not grumble that parents are the problem. You would find that bridge between you and parents to convince them about what is right for children, because children have to be at the center of everything that we do. And that's what APER stands for. It is very, very important when we say Association for Primary Education and Research, we also are into research. We are going to be researching what is required. We're going to bring the best global research to you, but we are also going to conduct our own research. Because as Gijubai Vadekar said, you cannot just adopt things from abroad. You need to adapt them to your community, your culture, your language, your school, and your children. We are very happy that we published Gijubai's book, a book about Gijubai, because many people think it's about early childhood education. Gijubai Vadekar's experiment of Divya Swapna was for primary children. So it's very important. I urge all primary school teachers to please read 2 books. Number 1, Gijubai's own Divya Swapna, available on Google, just download it. And secondly, the book published by us, which is Once Upon a Story. That's really going to help you understand educational theories and how to implement them in your classroom. Fatima has a nice setup today where drama is something that's going to be taught also. And that is the need of the hour today. We have to get out of this mindset that everything has to be about us talking and children learning, is about correcting books and doing worksheets. Today, our children need much more grounding. Because friends, we think COVID is going to be over when the lockdown gets over. But the WHO has said that we will have to live now with COVID, which means take a moment and understand the kind of world our children will be living in. A world in which they are always fearful about falling sick. A world in which parents are always fearful whether to send a child to school or not. Which means education is going to be surrounded by so many fears. And that is why we should reduce the number of fears that we can for our children in their education and in their lives. And that's where APER comes in. So thank you, Fatima, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to speak to all these lovely people who have come. You know, you must notice in all these webinars, the first person to log in is always Rupali Tanna. That lady has such dedication. She has been there in every ECA and APER webinar. And when you open up, I always see her name first. We need educators like that. Those who are committed even during lockdown. You know, we have so much work going on. We're looking after our homes, we're cleaning, we're cooking. But here are educators who are also ready to learn. So thank you, Fatima. Congratulations. I believe you have brought Ajit also to speak today. And I'm sure his fans are waiting to have to listen to words that he has to say, especially about sports education. Thank you, Farzana ma'am. Congratulations to you too. And congratulations, Fatima. And I urge everybody, please become members of APER. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swati ma'am. It's always inspiring to you. You brought up two key elements. This association is about research. It is about best practices. It is about collaboration. And it's very important for us to share. I think one of the things that you brought up with your book once upon was the fact that unless we share, unless we open our worlds to feedback, and unless we share our stories, we will only be in that cocoon. And COVID-19 has taught us we cannot do it all on our own, to do on others. We're a united. About your comment about Rupali Tanna, it's actually very inspiring. Evening panelists, pleasure to be here. We need this dedication. We need the support. Everyone contribute. And on that note, Farzana ma'am, I'm going to bring you in as my mentor for APER Mumbai, the Mumbai chapter. You're passionate. I don't know how and what you eat to be able to do this, like I keep telling Swati ma'am as well. By the way, Swati ma'am, your bindi look was very appreciated yesterday. I think that needs to make a debut yet again.
I will do that.
It's these stalwarts that keep it going. It's your brainchild. Walk us through what inspired you all to put this together, and what do you hope for this to really achieve as far as the Mumbai chapter is concerned, or even broader? Because it's nice to collaborate here. Over to you, Farzana.
Good evening, friends and colleagues of APER. I'm sure you must have found a child in your classroom who is disinterested, disengaged, not focused. And you must have wondered why. I do my best and still I have these 1-2 kids in my class who are so not focused and disengaged. I am telling you, ponder upon this. You will realize it's not because they don't understand, but it's because they can't find any connections between what you're teaching and what they are learning. Student distraction is not a new problem, friends. It's an issue that teachers and parents have to deal with as long as schools and parenting has existed. So now comes my magical wand, Dr. Swati Popat. She is our president and a visionary who founded APER. She is such a dynamic person that she has brought the solution for all of us as teachers. If we work together, our learners will become more curious, more connected, and by involving them and making them active learners. So that's why APER has been planned with a vision to share, collaborate, and help primary school teachers. And it's something which is spread now all across India. ECA, fortunately for us, Dr. Swati, ECA was so well rooted in India that we have sort of jumped onto the bandwagon, and APER has grown in practically all those territories. So you are looking at North India to South India, West India to East India. We have a leader and we have a territory head. Mumbai is the first to launch it, and we are surely, there are lots queued up and waiting for such webinars where they can talk to their parents, So for us, any affiliating board is not important, friends. Please remember, affiliating board can be international, national, anything. For us at APER, it's important to help primary teachers because what you teach content is similar. You can't teach rocket science to a grade 3 child. Approximately the same content is being taught everywhere. So what is the differentiator? Why are some schools doing well or some teachers being more popular and more sought after, So APER aims at making our teachers more effective and effective, and to move from one paradigm of rote learning and chalk and talk to the new paradigm of student-centered learning spaces. Now, this is something which even Dr. Swati just spoke about, and Fatema also hinted. We need to change the way we teach and learn, especially post-COVID-19. So let's give our students two things, friends: voice and choice. Because it's not always what, remember, this is a very important statement I'm making. It's not always important what my teacher wants to teach, but what I also want to learn. I'm sure those two children, Kirti and Pearl, are going to tell us something like that, you know. So voice and choice for our children is something which we all need to look into. With COVID-19, our schools, our teachers, our admin, even our parents, friends, have all moved so fast. We were chalk and talk teachers, and suddenly, within 2 to 3 days, management wanted. We did fatafat some training, and we've all become digital teachers. So it's easy. It's not that we can't become facilitators for the student voice and choice. We can, and we will, but we need to have the will within us. When we say a teacher has to play the role of a facilitator, what do I mean by that? I mean that the teacher should not be the king of the classroom. We are used to, I'm sure Dr. Swati and me and all of us who have studied where the teacher used to be the big boss in the class, and what she said we all have to do. The world has changed, friends. The children of today are different. So we need the teacher to be more allowing them that flexibility, to let the spirits of creativity and innovation just flow in their classroom. In other words, the main thing is to get our leaders, who are our children, involved in active participation. And how will that be represented, friends? It would be represented in argumentative discussions, teamwork activities, so that the process of learning becomes comprehensive. You know, why am I going on to these details? Because that's where you will understand the role of APER that we plan to have, and how are we going to help teachers and parents. In our classroom, we often go with a mindset, you know, and I am to be blamed also equally for this, you know. I have this subtopic and I need to finish it. That's okay. But for some reason, and that's a lot of training which I've had, I've realized if my children in the class, if I'm doing marine animals, and if my children are not interested today, they only want to talk about dolphins. As a teacher, I need to be able to wean away from my lesson plan, which I think I have created with lots of time, and talk about dolphins. I always tell my teachers, try to be different. Try to say, well, I don't know much. Let's inquire together. That doesn't mean that the teacher doesn't know about inquiry, but she wants the children to they're asking the questions. They need to be facilitated to find the answers. So I'm sure you teachers and parents and principals and everybody is excited about what APER is going to have for you. So our earnest request, like Swati ma'am, is join APER and become a voice. So, you know, with Dr. Swati doing so much for ECA, they have a voice now. If they say something, people, media, everybody listens to them. We have no voice in primary. If we all gang up together, collaborate, we will have a voice for primary teachers, primary parents, primary heads. I believe parents play an equivalent role as teachers. So it's very important. And why, as Swati ma'am has already said, you know, why would I say primary? Because that's a very important bridge for developing our children. You know, early years is focusing on teaching them literacy and numeracy. High school is getting them ready for their careers. It's the primary years where we can teach them life skills. We can teach them to be independent, responsible, curious learners. So we all have to work together, friends. And how will we work together? Join APER. We will organize a lot of workshops for our members and will help them in their professional development, because that's the way forward. I'm sure you like what I'm saying, but you'll say, how the hell do we do it? And that's where we will come to your aid. Now, APER has an acronym which means Association for Primary Education and Research. Today, I'm going to tweak it. Swati ma'am, please excuse me. I'm going to tweak it so all those who are listening and tuned in today will remember what we as APER are going to offer you. A, always offer support to all parents, teachers, students. P, professional development for teachers. That's going to be our main goal, and that's the plan which Fatema will roll later in the day. E, enrichment and enhancement of teaching methodologies. So moving from rote learning, chalk and talk, and moving to student-led, voice, whatever I'm talking about, it's all our teaching methodologies. We are going to organize a lot of workshops for you. Again, we are not for profit organizations. So friends, we are not going to be expensive like other organizations where it's very expensive. What we do is just meet the charges for the resource person and whatever stationery that we use. Because we believe in true collaboration and we want to spread this knowledge that we have with many, many more in India. And the last R, reimagine education and reboot. We all will have to reboot ourselves. Especially post-COVID-19, we have to reboot the whole way that we look and think. So if you're not a member, I urge you, along with all my other friends who are listening in, to join us, and together we will usher in an era of 21st century learning, you know, and this is the need. I mean, we were attended umpteen workshops which talk about life skills, but have we actually practiced it in our classroom? Maybe we like what we hear, but we really don't know how to implement it. So here is where APER is going to come in. We're going to actually handhold you. We're not going to give you more theories to read. We're going to tell you how are you going to implement those theories in your classrooms, you know. I'm sure skill development is the way forward. We can't be content-driven schools. In fact, CBSE, everybody is saying post-COVID-19, content is going to be reduced. Obviously, it's the conceptual understanding for our children which is more important. So this cover-to-cover textbook completion, forget it. Post-COVID-19, and I'm so happy COVID-19 has happened because sometimes I'm looking at the positive effects of COVID-19. We were so stuck to completion of syllabus and that same methods of assessment. We'll all become more creative. We are going to take part in that, and we are going to teach you how to assess children more creatively, maybe online how you are going to assess children, you know. If you Google anything today, content, you'll get reams and reams of pages. You will need the skill. Your children, I'm sure the two children listening will agree, you will need the skill of what to take out from this reams of information that you've got. That's the skill we need to develop in our children. So I leave you all with this thought. It's a Joseph Joubert's quote, to teach is to learn twice. And I want to tell you, we are not robots. I've heard about schools using robots to teach. Where is the human touch? Of course, with social distancing, but we will not be emotionally distancing with our children. The connect is going to be there. So let's reboot ourselves, and will do a lot of PD with you all. That's professional development. And please understand, with the networks, with the connects, with the collaboration, we have a range of distinguished workshop leaders. And as we all heard Modi ji speak, and what did he tell us? Focus on local. And that's, let's develop our primary teachers locally here in Mumbai first, and of course, all around India. We are there. APER is going to spread its wing like ECA. And thank you very much for listening in. Do join in. If you have any queries, do write into us, and we will be able to help you how to join in. Thank you. Over to you, Fatema.
Thank you so much. It's almost a shame after to go in next. But I have this job as the Mumbai territory. Keep going. Two important takeaways from me, Farzana ma'am, the voice. It's important that every stakeholder in this city, as part of primary education, has a say. We need to listen to children. We need to listen to the adults who are the parents and the teachers. And all of us need to skill, because this is a new normal that we're all experiencing together. And another important point is we need to read, and we can rethink collectively. We don't have to chart our path alone. And that is the purpose of APER. Mumbai chapter kicks off, and we hope to spread this inspiration to the rest of the country. So thank you so much for your inspirational message to us. And under both your guidance, Mumbai chapter will rock. We now have the man who's been waiting. And thank you, Jehan. Your connectivity and your technology today has worked wonders, and you're online with me throughout. You know I had to. So Jehan, quite frankly,
Hi.
see just the fact through these two ideas to implement in your classroom will actually be what's important. But we have this opportunity to see him and hear him teach us what we can as we now embrace the time when we may be virtual, Jehan, and it's tough. I've been on webinars and I know it takes every ounce of my energy to be energetic and to make sure that that session is lively. To give us some ideas, I say is a sneak peek into what the Mumbai chapter will carry forward. Professionals are our empaneled partners for the professional development that Farzana ma'am spoke to us. So Jehan, walk us through it.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm asking Mansi if she could kindly put all of the participants, all the panelists into gallery view for all the participants, and to put their mics, if you can all unmute your mics. Shubhadra, Tasneem, great. Yeah, unmute. Swati, Fatema, unmute. Okay. Swati, if I guess she's gone off camera, but we'll play for a second. I have a little ball in my hand. Can you see it? Kriti, can you see the ball in my hand? Here, nice and round. Can you see it? Yeah? What? You just imagine it's there then. Can you imagine it's there? Okay, sorry. Yeah, there you go. See, she'll keep me honest. Okay, I'm going to hand this ball to you and you need to take it from your camera, okay? And hold it, okay? So there you go. Take this ball. Take the ball from the screen. There, take it. Reach out to the camera, reach out to the laptop and pick it up. Yeah, you got the ball? Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. Can you just catch the ball like this and hold it up and down a little bit? Throw it up in the air and catch it?
Yeah.
Throw it up in the air and catch it. Great, great. Okay, fine. Can you take a name of somebody else and say, I am passing the ball to you, and pass the ball to them by passing the ball into the camera.
Okay. Pearl, I am passing the ball to you.
And pass it into the camera. And Pearl, take it out of the camera. Very good, guys. Well, and now, Pearl, that ball has suddenly become very hot. It's a hot ball, and you're holding it. But it's a hot ball. Keep holding it, and quickly pass it to somebody else. Tell another ma'am. Tell Tasneem ma'am, you're going to pass it to her. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Oh my God, it's a hot ball. But Tasneem, suddenly the ball has cooled down, and it's become bigger, and heavier. And now pass it to Farzana ma'am, please. Pass it to Farzana.
Here you go, ma'am. It's too heavy.
Pick it up, Farzana ma'am, take it. Yes. Okay, great. Yes. And now can you just throw the ball to Shubhadra? Throw it. Shubhadra, catch. Well done. And now the ball has become a small little marble. The beautifulest little marble you've ever seen between your two fingers. Yes. Can you just give that? It's such a beautiful marble. It's got gold and green and blue and yellow in it, and it's got glitter inside it. And just take that beautiful marble shining and just show it to everyone in the camera. Let them all imagine it. Right up, like hold it right up next to the camera so we can all see it. No, it's too far. Right up to the camera. No, as close to the camera as possible. Yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go. And can you just pass it to Fatema? I think she wants it. I think she wants it. Yeah, just Fatema, take it out. There you go. That's a beautiful ball, right? Lovely.
It's a diamond.
It's a diamond. Oh my God.
Oh God.
In that case, can I have it? Because I need it. Please give it to me. Okay, thank you, Fatema. Oh, good. Fatema, this is not a diamond. It's a piece of chewing gum.
Oh, that was sad.
Never swallow your chewing gum, guys. Hi, everyone. That was a little example. Now you guys can put your mics on mute again, but feel free to also intervene if you have anything to say. That was a really small little example of something I played the other day with everybody to just have a space of getting a sense of what it is to build something called social presence in the online space. You guys are now actually with me. Earlier, you were kind of with me, kind of not with me. Things are happening around. We're not in these spaces that were, for us, drama is really an important thing, is that we have to hold the space somehow. And usually it's a workshop room. And usually that workshop room is our space in which we set up a set of rules, set up a set of practices, set up a culture of learning. And in that culture of learning, we can deliver a lot of interesting, engaging stuff because everyone is there and present with us. And it is hard to expect to recreate all of that, that dynamic in its entirety in the virtual space. And for the last ever since the lockdown started and Tasneem and I have been scratching our heads about how to do this, we really have found ourselves really recognizing that this is a whole new world. Even for us as drama facilitators, as Farzana ma'am said, with the social distancing, how is one going to do drama? And the truth is that we can't do all of it, but we can adapt. As somebody else also said, it's not about adopting, it's about adapting. And we will adapt to these new mediums and these new conventions. And so we actually are looking to see what is the thing that you as teachers and you as educators need to recreate in this space. And the first thing is the social presence of one another in the room. And so for that, it is really important that the teacher somehow can really connect to the kids around them, to create that virtual classroom that is actually what we call a held space. And for that held space, we need to have connections and games and exercises, preferably in gallery view, that allow us to do this kind of thing. The other thing we can do, I just try to do this, is that we also can take on, there's a beautiful thing we do in drama called teacher in role, where the teacher takes on a character, and the character is somebody who teaches. And so what's the reality of our situation? You guys all know what this is, right? Pal, you know what this is? Kriti, you know what this is? Another beautiful thing you can use is hand gestures. So let's play another hand gesture exercise. I hope everyone is in, Mansi, can we get everybody back into gallery view again? So that all the participants can see everybody. I'd like the participants to see all the gallery players here, okay? So everyone, do what my hand is doing and mirror me, mirror me. Mirror, yeah, that's it, okay. So thumbs up is a sign that says positive. I get you when you're doing something, right? I'm just checking that you're paying attention. See, this is my teacher check to see that everyone's paying attention, right? So thumbs up is to say, yes, I like that idea. Thumbs down, no, I don't really like that idea. Oh, wow, that was fun. I really love that. Heart shape, yes, okay. This is an idea like, okay, Kriti gave some input in class and somebody else like Farzana agreed with it, and so she does this, which is like copy-paste, you know, copy-paste. Or Fatema spoke about, no, it was Swati ma'am who spoke about how we all have to cook and, do all of that stuff. And I was like, yes, this is my sign for I feel for you, me too. This is going on with me as well. So now, Kriti, can you just repeat what are the gestures I said? Thumbs up was there?
Thumbs up, heart.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Paste.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And what is that for?
it's for yes.
It's for yes. Okay, so that's going on with me too, I also feel that way. Yeah. And then you can come up with your gestures, and this becomes a shorthand that you can use in your VCs, so that whilst the teacher is teaching in gallery view and looking at all the kids, but doesn't have time to have everyone stop for a verbal input, they can do that, right? Yeah, Fatema's like, oh God, I don't want to see that. Exactly, yeah, that's great. And why not use these expressions? Oh my God! Use them. And look, I mean, like we've got people smiling, we've got people chuckling, and all I'm doing with this is getting you a set of communication tools that are non-verbal, because in the act of communication, there's the stuff that we want to get across, we want to consciously get across to each other, but there's also our subconscious person who's also sending out signals intentionally, unintentionally. But in our normal life, when we're all talking to each other, that is very much part of how we read the full message coming, right? yay, I'm in such a good mood, I say, but I'm like, yay, I'm in such a good mood. And you know it in my body language when I'm at school, when I'm in the space with you. It's much harder to read it here. So it's about actually reintroducing some kind of visual references and visual communication tools to add that dimension back in, right? So now these are just simple tricks and tools, etc. And we're already finding that, for example, at the school that Kirti and Pal go to, their teachers use drama for learning as a methodology. Shubhadra and our work has gone way back. They have understood the importance of drama in their classrooms. And the question to all of them is, how are you breaking those tools that you use to engage your learners in the classroom from drama as teachers? And how are you going to take it into this online space? And it's early days yet. So to expect me, I'm sorry, I know that you said that I've got all I have thoughts, I have some answers. The few answers that we've gathered already, I've already shared with you. But we're still figuring out the process of adaptation. And we really want you all, and we're going to do this, as you said, not alone, but in dialogue with you. That I have in terms of can do this for the school networks right now. But what Tasneem has said, but what we can do right now is get into dialogue with them, find out where their pain points are, find out where learners are getting bored in school, find out where teachers are struggling in the virtual classroom, and figure that out. So we'll figure that out together. But the other thing is to really start looking at the signals that the kids are sending us in this virtual space and trying to adapt to that. And this is all new territory for all of us. We think that our tools will allow us, all of our tools are adaptable and can solve some of the problems depending on, but we're still identifying the problems. So let me get broader to why drama be the skill in order to do or to find these solutions. Because the biggest thing that right now we have to do is improve our social presence with one another in this learning environment, so that at least the teacher's eminent domain, they say that 50% of a child's academic excellence or academic performance can be tracked right back to just the fact that the teacher, what the relationship the teacher has with the child. And that is huge and that is important. So your teacher's eminent domain has to re-increase. And she has to think about doing it multidimensionally, not just through the Zoom classroom, but also through the side chats, also through the use of the comment window, also offline, also through the phone call. And it is going to be a tougher time for teachers all around. And I think school leaders need to figure out how they're going to support them to do this. But it is to give the teacher that multi-pronged and multi-dimensional approach so that she can come back and virtually embrace the child in all ways, shapes, and forms. And you spoke about the Bermuda Triangle. It's a painful analogy at this point in time, but yes, I mean, I can see why we use it, because it's ringing true right now, especially around the argument around fees, especially around all the anxieties and stresses. But in that triangle are 3 points, and those are the 3 points that are going to together make the learning experience for the child work again. I actually think that, as Farzana ma'am said, I mean, it's horrible to say that this COVID crisis is the best thing that has happened, but it somewhere is, it has opened up a lot of our minds to new ways of thinking. And I know that over the last 10 years of working with schools and hearing their laments about parents and meeting parents and hearing their laments about schools and seeing the real world that we were working in, that the onus of the child's education had almost become 95% the school and 5% the parent. But education is a 50-50 equation, because half the time is at home in that environment and half the time is in the school. And I think that one of the opportunities in this whole thing, and I don't know what Tasneem's going to say about this, but is to see if there is a way that parents can be involved again in the learning of the child, because the child is parked at home right now. And what are your parents doing? How are your parents engaging with you? I have Kirti and Pal, I do want to hear at the end when you get asked your question. So remember that you have to answer this question for Jehan uncle or Jehan bhaiya, actually. But you do have to answer this question. Yes, and cracking a joke is also a good way to improve social presence. I'm doing these deliberately, everybody, not just because I think I'm funny. Okay, Fatima? So really keep my whole talk in gallery view the whole time, because I want to prove this point for gallery view for everybody. So everybody, you're on camera. So where was I? Yes. So the question that I
You
want
were
you
being
to
funny.
no, before that. The question I wanted you guys to think about is something my son said to me is like, Dada, this coronavirus has you at home the whole time with me. That's fun. And I want to know if you guys are having similar experiences or not, in terms of like the fact that, before when your parents were going to work and all of that, what was it like for you? And now your parents are at home all the time. Is it good, or is it like that, or is it yay, or is it everything? I don't know. You please answer this question. But I do think that we can shift the balance back where teachers and educators guide both the parents and the child on a learning roadmap. So for the parents also, it's an activity. For the parents, it's also bonding time with the child. But the parent has to participate, because that huge missing aspect of the human touch, that huge missing aspect of the social distancing, at least the parents don't have it. And the kids need cuddles and kitchos and kotis, and they need love, and they need that physical contact, and they need the rapport. So for example, if my son is doing a capoeira class online, the instructor is insisting that the parents at least do 10 minutes of some game with them. So we get to do a pillow fight where the kid has to dodge, but the parent is suddenly laughing and having a good time also. So somewhere we need to find parents their opportunities to come in and almost use this as a space for them also to de-stress, because we know that parents are under immense stress right now in the current climate. So the first, so these are kind of the broad frameworks that we are thinking about, right? And I'm just going to take a second and do a screen share with you to show everybody something that we are doing. This is the school library project. It is the brainchild of Shazia Jeffrey, who's our lead facilitator and educator, and her team, Tasneem and Pragnya and Srividya and all sorts of our drama educators, where they basically got our large community of drama educators to come up with all kinds of little activity shares, video shares, storytelling shares that they did. But something that's happening in all of this is that there is a participatory sort of element for the child who's not passively doing it anymore, but actively doing something because of the stimulus given from the screen. So the screen is a stimulus, not an overstimulation stimulus, but a stimulus to get the child to some activity, and ideally to some activity with each other. And I'm sure APER can share the link. It's just called the School Library Project and it's on YouTube, and you can look at it and look at the playlist to see something for yourselves. We're already thinking about how to involve the parents some more, and I think that's a key idea. The other key thing, and I think I will leave it there and then let the conversation continue amongst all of us, because I could go on, and Fatema, do time me in case I am going over. So far I'm okay? Yes? Good. See, time, watch also. Great, 1 minute, good. So I will come back to this important sort of aspect. So we can talk about building the social presence in the classroom and equipping the teachers to do that. We can talk about giving the kids also drama exercises and drama activities that they can do at home with their parents, either through things like the school library project or a drama class or a drama methodology. But I think that the main thing is that the teachers get these tools in their own hands, and they are the ones who use it, because they're the ones who are going to take time. And I have to stop right now because Kriti is starting to yawn. And so that is my true signal, right? But I will say this also, and I say this on a slightly serious note. There is an immense amount of emotional stress that is happening right now to all of us and to our kids. Some of us, we don't recognize it and know it. And for some of us, we have acknowledged it and it is coming up. But things have changed drastically. And to the point that there's an article in the New York Times that talks about the psychological impact of COVID-19. And they are saying that it is akin to being stuck on a roof in the floods during Hurricane Katrina as a child. And that is a truth. And that is as a parent as well. And the economic aftermath of this is going to be huge. I know of schools where transfer certificates are being asked for by parents who are downgrading from international to Indian to private boards. There are all sorts of sad and troubling stories happening, right? And at this point in time, it is really important that also, and the teacher is going under a lot of stress themselves because most of them have families. They also have, we keep forgetting that the teachers are part of a domestic setup as well. They have families, they're either parents or children or something else, and we're asking them to be these superhuman teachers whilst they're also having to do their work at home. So I think self-care becomes important, and drama does a lot to bring expression and to bring self-expression out of our own spaces. So we first sort of look after ourselves, we express our inner troubles, we find a way to negotiate it. Theater, Oscar Wilde said, is the best opportunity for one human being to understand what another human being is and is going through. And with that thought, I leave you to think about the fact that the main thing that drama should be doing right now is giving everybody a vent and a space to express what they are going through and to come to terms with it. And with teachers especially, not only to do it for themselves, but to understand when it's done for them, how they can then do it for their learners, and possibly even at the PTAs and at the parent meetings for their parents as well. Because we are now going to have to take a 360 view around the child's emotional environment as well. And in that way, drama really does help enable you in terms of your socio-emotional learning skill set and your socio-emotional teaching skill set. And this is something I would ask all leaders and all school leaders to think about in terms of a real essential toolkit that you need to be thinking about giving your teachers. And with that, I pass the speaking tool to Fatema.
Received, Jehan. Thank you so much. A lot of what you said makes so much sense. And Jehan, we're going to hear from you throughout the year. A big part of what the Mumbai chapter APER believes in is techniques, strategies to help the educator. And the educator, in my mind today, is the teacher and the parent. Science research has stacked up statistics to say that if there is a 50-50 partnership, that successful child will also be a happy child. So it answers your question about the whole emotional aspect of what we're going through. These are not normal times, everyone. This is a new normal for everybody, for a parent, for a child, for a teacher. We're all doing it together. This is one ecosystem that needs to be moved forward in the way to save our future. Quite frankly, I don't want my grandson to go through what we are going through now. We need better solutions, therefore a rethink like Farzana ma'am spoke about, better strategies to help our children so they don't yawn in the virtual or the physical world, and we engage, make it relevant. That's the point of APER. And thank you so much, Jehan. We're looking forward to working closely with theatre professionals through the year. I love the 2 points, and I am going to stress on this. It is the social presence that you spoke about. Brilliant, Jehan. I love the way you brought us all together. Yes, because we were drifting. We were all thinking about what we have to do next, what is going to follow. Sometimes we don't listen. I think drama has taught me personally that a big part of it is about listening and then reacting. Don't be in a hurry. Great ideas. I can't tell you how this is going to help our world in Mumbai. On that note, I have to bring my better half to the screen. We're going to share the screen, so I'm going to move off and allow him that space. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mumbai APER chapter. How can we launch a Mumbai chapter without Bollywood, fashion, drama? It's already done, and sport. This is Shivaji Park Maidan for all of us in Mumbai, and we have to have cricket. Sorry, guys, no offense, but cricket does get equated to sport in general in this country. Jehan, by the way, there's a quiz on for you about cricket that follows. We'll take it privately. But moving to the side to allow my better half some screen time. This is Fatema Agarkar, grown up in Mumbai, a man of few words, which is why I have STEM simple questions for him. It's taken me a lot to convince him to be here. The good part about lockdown is he can't escape. So he's here with me, making his debut on Facebook Live. On that note, I'll keep quiet.
Yeah, I mean, once your wife asks you, you can't say no. So there you go.
Yeah, right. Good one. Okay. Any questions? A bit of fun, Ajit. All the best. You're a Mumbai boy, born and brought up. You went to a state school. Your son, our son, is a part of an international school, has been part of it all his life. Can you walk us through one thing that connects this national, international? You know, the debate goes on. We're not talking about education, but the one thing in your mind that connects the two.
I think it's, I mean, from my personal experience, obviously sport. You can have state education, international education, different things that you do. But sport is something that can be similar with whatever you do. I mean, every kid can play the same sport in different environments, and that kind of gets them all together. So it'll have to be sport. It just gives you a different perspective than what you get in a classroom, and I've experienced it myself firsthand. So I've got to say it's sport.
Brilliant. I love the fact that there is a commonality, and sport is that connects everyone. That's great, because let's park that argument about national, international for a change. APER is not about that, right, Farzana ma'am? APER is about bringing everyone to the table, irrespective, and combining us. Thank you. Next question, Ajit. There's often this notion associated with sport. You need fancy infrastructure, fancy coaches, you need this equipment that's state of the art. Without all of that, you can't create sports.
Yeah, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about sport if that was the case. I mean, in an ideal world, yes, if every education institute or schools or colleges could provide with great infrastructure, fantastic. We live in a city where there's barely any place to or space to move around, let alone having big sports arenas. If you can do it, that will always be the first preference any athlete would look at. I've grown up, or I've studied in a school where we didn't have a playground. Cricket personally, but for any other sport, we used to go to the Maidans. I've learned all my cricket in Shivaji Park. Obviously, played at the other Maidans in Mumbai, Cross, Azad. That's where you learn your cricket, or the majority of them do. If schools can provide infrastructure, that would be the ideal scenario. But that shouldn't hold back schools from promoting sport at any cost. And it doesn't matter which sport it is. It's eventually our responsibility to try and push it as parents or as teachers, which I got the help when I was growing up, which obviously helped going forward. So lack of infrastructure, there is going to be always the case at some stages, shouldn't stop you from doing it.
I think that once the teachers and the principals logged on, because we make that as an excuse to say we can't do this because we don't have it. COVID-19 has taught us that we're going to have to make do with what we have. And what we have is not so bad. So thank you so much, Ajit. I actually didn't know that your school didn't have the infrastructure. So one for me as well. As a sportsman, why would you bat, bowl, field for sports inclusion in a curriculum? And I'm not saying just because you're a boy, it's gender neutral. Why is it so important for schools to think about sport, like Jehan says, drama in school, sport in school?
Yeah, I mean, again, cricket is my area of expertise, so I can talk from personal opinion. I know there are other sports, and other sports people will probably echo this as well. Just gives you a different perspective, different disciplines in life that it teaches you. You spend time with other people playing that sport, so sort of learning in a different environment, which may not always be in your favor. Those sorts of skills or qualities that it teaches you, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to learn in a closed classroom. So just gives you a different perspective to life, and it's taught me a lot of discipline throughout my life. It's which I'm trying to push my son into doing, which is a lot harder, but it just naturally taught me. I don't think anyone had to push me to do it because I played sport. Those sorts of qualities were automatically imbibed, and that's helped me in life in general, not just in sport.
Every teacher out there is going to say, give us sports periods, more time now. Teach them discipline, I'm going to teach them attention. This is what we need. Outsource it to sport. Thank you for that, because we need all of this as well. Right. I think there's something about cricket maths. I mean, really, math and cricket, how does that work? Because you know what, we work in silos in the education space. We like our math to be handled by math teachers and sports to be done by the PE sirs. What is this combination you brought to the table?
Well, I mean, I suppose again, studying can sometimes be a bit tedious. I know I struggled with math a little bit growing up. My son sometimes had an issue. It's just the more you think about it, if you can sort of, blend the two together, sport and math, which we thought, the more you think about cricket, we necessarily don't put everything down on paper. If you think about it, there is a science or a math involved to it, which made it a lot more interesting for us to think about doing this cricket and math, because it can make learning a bit more fun. And I've always realized anything you do in life, I suppose, if it is enjoyable, you're bound to do it. And that is the hope, and that is what we are trying to, or aiming to do, that try and make it a lot more fun so that kids take to it.
It's for the relevance, right?
Yeah.
About bringing math skills in a way that kids believe will be used. So A plus B square will be used at some point. This linear graph that we see with COVID-19 NDTV news every single day, that's the linear equation and non-linear equation. So there's a relevance. Thank you so much for that. Adit, just some words of advice for the parents and the teachers who are also parents of children who are sportsmen, young athletes who are frustrated, sitting under lockdown. They want to be out there. What can you tell them? Because it doesn't seem like this world will, change anytime soon.
Yeah, tough one to answer, really. I mean, it's much easier to say that, oh, stay positive and do the things that you can possibly do. The one thing you can certainly do at home, especially for anyone who wants to be involved in any sport or otherwise also as a lifestyle thing, is try and do your bit fitness wise. That it could be different things for different people in terms of access. I know a lot of the gyms or swimming pools and things like that, or parks are shut at the moment. You could run up the steps. That's just a simple example. Those sorts of things. But keep yourself active as much as you can. Try and treat this as almost like a fitness sort of season. And when the physical world opens up and you have a chance to play sport, you're already at a level where then it doesn't really stop you from getting straight into sport instead of worrying about fitness again. So make sure you stay active. Try and find different ways that you can. I know it's a lot easier said than done at the moment, but it is important to try and get that hour out, maybe a couple of hours out of the day, to try and find stuff to do which is physical.
Being honest, because right now the pressure of parents, teachers, children face is social media. I mean, we're watching everyone doing these exercises, we're watching all these videos, and sometimes it's very difficult to motivate. So thank you. Even if it's a tough day, just find it within, and it's not easy. I think that will help all of us. Okay, now enough serious talk. Jehan spoke about humor. I am always about humor. I think it just lightens the mood up. It's a Friday evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, everyone, answer it as honestly as possible. Do you think educators, principals, teachers tend to talk a lot? My aunt is in attendance as well. And you can refer your answers only to me so that you're not the bad one.
Her I've only heard when we meet for dinners and stuff. I hear you all day, every day. So, yeah, I mean, it's that's why it helps when she's asking me the question, so I can keep my answer short and makes it a lot easier for me.
Yes, that meant that yes, we talk a lot. Maybe we need to take Jehan's cue and facilitate. All right, one lesson for all of us. Okay, now this is rapid fire. Quick, one thing COVID-19 has taught you.
Oh, I think you can live with simple means. I suppose at times we'd forgotten a little bit. It's a lot easier. think a lot of resilience, I suppose. You've got to. I know it sounds a bit preachy, but try and keep yourselves happy as much as you can. As tough as it is, it's a lot tougher for some of the other people than we are in a lot. We are in a privileged position, so smile as much as you can.
Lovely. Because you have to, I mean, you have to be grateful for what you have, and you also have to empathize for a lot of what you do, what other people don't have. Thank you for that. Rapid fire. It has to be a short answer. Okay, cricket or golf?
Oh, wow. Missing my golf at the moment, but no, cricket. I think cricket's given me everything.
Okay. Best memory playing for Mumbai. Come on, this is the Mumbai chapter. We have to ask you something about Mumbai.
Oh, rapid fire. I think, again, was lucky enough to play for a great team, especially the era that I played. 2013, when I was captain. When I finished playing, we won that year for Mumbai, and that makes it a little bit more sweeter.
Okay. Last one, Ajit, you've done very well. The question is pretty simple. Was this easier than bowling the last over in a match with 90,000 people staring and cursing you in case you got it wrong, or answering your wife's question?
No, it's been horrible. I've been trying to get out of it all day. Nervous as hell, but it's been great fun. So thank you for having me, and thanks, Fatema.
All right. Thank you, Ajit. Thank you for joining us and wishing us well for the Mumbai chapter. Thank you so much. I'll take over the screen again. So that was my better half. And yeah, he's batting for sport in education as Jehan is for drama. On that note, over to you, Principal Ma'am, Shubhadra Shenoy. You've been very, very patient. Thank you so much for that. Jehan's taught me a few tricks today. Shubhadra, it's an important question that I have for you. Difficult times. Jehan actually mentioned how actually extraordinary they are. There's pressure. There's pressure to deliver online. There's pressure to when parents are not paying fees. Teachers are also living extraordinary lives, cooking, cleaning, sitting in front of the screen, assessing. I mean, they're human. So Shubhadra, walk us through some of your experiences. If you can share a few strategies like Jehan did, and you're going to be a big part of the APER Mumbai chapter with the professional development that we have. Shubhadra, talk to us and share some of your journey with us.
Thank you, Fatema. Am I audible? Yeah. So I think firstly, I just, a quick memory of just about a few months back, I think Fatema and I were discussing about hosting the first APER session at LAIS. And the whole team and I was so excited to have Swati ma'am and Farzana ma'am and Fatema, all of us together in the same space in our new school. And I'm so glad that, okay, it didn't happen. Yes, with all the tough times we've gone through, but we've yet managed to do it in the virtual way. And I'm really glad that I'm still there in discussion with all of you. Yes, I think we've all just been pushed into the well and said, okay, let's just swim. And that's what I think all of us have been doing. Initially, as it came to us, we only decided and thought about the safety of the children and the staff. And of course, knowing that the parents will be very anxious about what's going to be our next steps. So I think looking at that, the first thing is we decided to close down. We didn't even wait for any circulars or anything. We just said, let us take the first step and close the school and then sit together and work it out. We didn't have any timelines. We really didn't think through, but yes, it was really good that the team sat together. That has been, I think, our philosophy, that we make sure everybody is a part of decision. So, and we were very fortunate that we had a presentation that day, a day before, with our parents. So we sort of gave them a little glimpse and an idea that, okay, we may be coming in virtually. If there's any problems, we are there for you, just to give them a little hint. And I think that was very helpful. The teacher team, yes, I mean, I would say absolute pillars of any school. They were all there, geared up. I think their anxiety was not there as much as probably me and the other leaders in the school. They said, don't worry, we will just go on. And I think it's just been an evolving journey from there. We didn't know where we'd start, what we will do, which app, which program. We just had an ERP in school, which would send announcements to the parents. And we said, okay, how do we begin? And the first thing we said, the closest and the most easiest and most popular is to create WhatsApp groups. And I think that was a start. I see this times have just made, I take it from what Farzana ma'am said, yes, the positive bit and the solutions this challenge of COVID has brought about in all of us is collaboration. Collaboration with teachers, collaboration, bond with our parents, bond with our children. I think we've just got so close to all of them. We have actually taken out more time, I think, in the virtual way than we probably do even in school. We have been, we don't take so much rounds in the corridor as much as we've been we've been, coordinating with our teachers through calls and making sure that they are comfortable doing their classes in the virtual way. So I think it's been a very innovative way of us all suddenly getting plunged into the digital space. I'm amazed at the way the teachers are all ready to take into webinars, whatever is available. They want to learn more, they want to try more. And I think I would say kudos to them. Parents have been very supportive. We've been constantly taking feedback from our parents. Any small concerns, even to an extent that they don't have a printer at home, we've given them options of making it simpler for them. Because finally, I think what, ma'am, you mentioned, it's not the content, it's a skill. What we're providing is just, this is the right time to take up the life skills, right time to move in those skills, which we call it as a 21st century skill. A time for them to communicate with their family, time to bring in empathy by doing household chores, understanding the importance of the house help, who probably we never think of, but today we're all, probably we're praying that they are safe. So I think that is what we really, as a team, thought that let's give them small assignments which is doable for parents, because I think parents, teachers, including you and me, are working for home, at home, and we are in a position where, yes, emotionally and socially, we are, in a distance, I would say. So I think it started with that. We eventually, I think as we evolved, we realized that, okay, what are we doing with the digital space? Are we playing safe with it? Are we making sure our parents are aware of what's happening? Every app we use, every program we use, is there any kind of safety we need to cater to? I think all this just involved, and I'm very happy that we also started looking at our cyber safety policies, which we never really thought about it initially. We always think about child protection acts and child protection policies, but it didn't include much about digital space. And I think this has also pushed us to start thinking about that. And it's evolved in creating a policy for the school. So, which included a lot of ideas with the experience the teachers and the children and the parents had in this journey. So I must say that the feedback we've been getting is simple ways in which the children have been sending their videos, they'll be sending pictures of what they do. The parents feel like these are things the children never done all this while. They're happy to eat a burnt chapati. They're happy to eat an irregular chapati of their child. They're happy to see children, making the summer drink, which they enjoy, and they actually can tell you a recipe of that because we cater to pre-primary and primary. These are small ways of life skills which we thought could be initiated. The communication, I think, has increased a lot in the families because we've given them a lot to read aloud at home. The father and the mother both are seen with books reading to their children, which is so much fun. And we see the children reading it to their parents. So promoting small skills of reading, communication, critical thinking, asking them to do small, things by making choices for themselves, telling the parents whatever is available, use that to do your art activity. Don't go thinking this is not and this is not available. What do I do? Let's make it simple. And I think that's just been helpful. The entire team, I think, has put in a lot of time, many more hours, I would say, than what they would do in school. It is a 24/7 today. At every time, we can see the teachers and the heads of the school all sitting together and thinking, what's the next step? We are actually on a break, but I wouldn't say it's a break at all. The teachers are already planning what to do next. And it's, in fact, we were chalking out our professional development timeline with them. And we said, okay, let's take a 2-week break. And they're already flooding us with saying that, okay, what's next? We could actually start a little early. We can take a break later. And I think that's really contagious to see that everybody is rising to this, to this problem time. I think very quickly, I would say, as a leader of an institution or as a head of the institution, I think the biggest challenge was to put everything together. And I would only recommend that if every leader would just take everyone along, get in a buy-in from everyone, I think it's a smooth sail for everyone. Just including your parents getting their feedback, including your teachers getting their feedback, making sure your support staff are safe at home, and ensuring that somewhere they are learning simple things. I remember, I think Fatima, you met Vaishali, who's in our Explorer class, and when we spoke to her on the phone, and she said, I'm so bored. The only thing I could think of to tell her is that pick up your grandchild's book and start reading, learn ABCD for us. So I think it is also a time to think about everyone here and making the best use of it. And this is what I think we've tried doing. So one is, yes, buy-in of everyone. Make sure your decisions are collaborative rather than just the heads sitting together and chopping out something. Involve the management and take them and orient them through it. I'm sure they definitely will buy in if your process and your outcome is something so profound. The other thing I would really recommend is also that, yes, teachers should continue to be on a journey of professional development. There is so much offered online today. I mean, it's amazing to see the world come so close with the click of a button. International programs available to you. I mean, Harvard is giving you free courses today. There is so much offering. We have to motivate our teachers. Just make sure we understand their concerns, because yes, like Fatima really said, it is a time tough for everyone. And if we are able to talk it out to them and make it convenient for them, I think the professional development should go on. I'd be very happy to be a part of APER whenever possible, to lead workshops if I get a chance, definitely. And we're very glad that other than that, I would say that, keep your children, even if it's a break, it will be great for schools to send them assignments which are fun, which are more, something which is more resourceful, because it keeps them alive. Because we don't want a sense of them not, taking a break from a virtual world, suddenly coming back to that, because we know schools are not going to open very soon. We will come back to the online world. Like a simple thing, we've thought of listing down movies which the parents usually won't take them. Maybe our children should see a Japanese movie. Maybe our children should watch, a Korean movie with subtitles. How do we also, raise the bar for each child so that education just makes it more resourceful, more, more available, which is global rather than what we have been doing. So local to global, whatever we can do, right from a Marathi and a Hindi and a Bengali movie to what we can go global. So I think that's what we have been doing. So I hope, Fatima, my time is up, or I still have time to speak. Okay, thank you.
I loved what you had to share, Shubhadra, but the thumbs up was to tell you that, but also that we do have a time restriction.
Yes, please.
But the audience is going to hear more from you, Shubhadra. We would be honored for you to lead a few workshops, especially the leadership one, because my takeaway from what you have just shared with the team is the fact that it's collaboration and communication.
Yes, very much.
You're taking everyone along. You're listening to parents, you're listening to teachers, you're listening to students. And that is the only way we can remain empathetic, because God knows we need to for the next 18 to 24 months. This is not going away, as Swati ma'am said. Farzana ma'am said we have to rethink, but we cannot do it alone, and we need ideas from every quarter. So on that note, we're looking forward to hearing more from you, more strategies. I did like the fact that you said it's important to engage with children with fun. Teachers do not get bogged down with this desire to finish syllabus.
Yes.
It is about life skills, 21st century skills. Critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity are not for workshops for us to click pictures and then put it on our DPs. This is about now delivering it. This is about living it, because the future is in those classrooms. Thank you, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tasneem, I bring you to the forefront as that parent voice. Farzana ma'am spoke about it. It is now the primary education voice, and I dare say primary parents are a lot more vocal than the pre-primary. You are going to walk us through what you feel. And the beauty about this, Farzana ma'am and Swati ma'am, I know your video is on mute, but you're listening to us, is the fact that we're all being honest. We're stating it the way we see it. We don't have all the answers. Jehan mentioned it. He has a company as an entrepreneur. He's working with tools. Tasneem, I'm hoping to hear from you and that honesty that you always bring to the table. Guide parents, guide teachers, because you don both hats. Over to you, Tasneem.
Thank you so much. And firstly, I'd like to congratulate Swati ma'am, Farzana ma'am, and Fatema for the launch of the Mumbai chapter. Wishing you all the very best and continued success as always. So good evening, everyone. It's indeed a pleasure to be here sharing this platform with such eminent speakers and expressing my views as a parent, about this online teaching. So today I'm going to don two hats, as Fatema has asked me to, as a parent and as an educator. So when I first heard about, online schooling from my son's school, I was like, okay, what's going to happen? Is he going to be able to sit in front of the screen? How is he going to cope? He's so used to meeting his teachers, hugging them, meeting their friends. But then that was the parent in me thinking. As an educator, I definitely knew it's going to be a smooth sail. We all are in this together. We understand how this is the way forward and we need to move ahead with those times. So it's been absolutely effective for my son. Though there have been discussions, online where should online teaching be, should pre-primary be doing online teaching because my son is 6 years old. But in my opinion, yes, I think it can be made very useful and effective. We don't have to stick to academic work always. There is so much more to it, like drama, there's music, there's dance, there's fitness, PE. I think a good blend of all of that makes online teaching equally a lot of fun. And it's motivating also for the students to sit in front of that screen. And I think what is most important is we need to understand the best possible concept or the topic that can be taught through online teaching, because we can't do everything online. I mean, we need to be honest in that there are limitations we or teachers would face, and we need to come to those terms. So, and that's exactly what my son's school has done. They've adjusted. They have blended academics so beautifully with the arts, conversation, stories, and everything under the sun that I would have asked for as an educator as well. So with the 6 C's, I'm just going to sum up my child's online learning journey and how I have enjoyed this entire process. So the first C being chat. So his school starts, online class starts at 11:30, but he is online on his own at 11:15. You ask me why? He wants to chat with his friends and his teachers. He is waiting for that first session to begin, and they're just having a great time. It's so casual, informal. You don't even realize that you're actually online. You're actually seeing your friends, doing hand gestures, everything together. They give virtual hugs to one another, and I think that's so beautiful. So that's the first part, chat, which is beautiful. Second, chants. Okay, they are divided into just groups of 4 and 5. So every child is getting a chance and an opportunity to be a very interactive and participative learner. Because many times we see, we know that in a classroom that not all our students are the ones who are going to be in the forefront, who would want to speak and share their opinions, etc. There are some shy children. In spite of the teacher asking them to speak, motivating them, they're the backbenchers. But here, I have seen even my son, who sometimes would probably be shy, has opened up so beautifully because he's got the chance and the opportunity in these small group settings. So chance has worked beautifully for them. Connects. Now today, as an educator and as a parent, this is very important, specifically for early years also, because they miss that connect. They miss, meeting those friends of theirs, their teachers, giving them that warm hug. They miss that connect. But hats off to all the teachers at his school. They have brought it so beautifully in. They start with the meet and greet. They have the school song. They have the school prayer. So they've kept the school connect as well. So they feel normal. Oh yeah, this is fine. This is exactly like I would do it in school. So their meet and greet is beautiful. You have to just hear them speak about the previous day, show off all their drawings that they have created, what they have made, baked, cooked, anything at all. And then so beautifully the teachers just gels and, starts the whole class. We don't even realize. So that connect is beautifully created online, and I kudos to all his teachers and hats off to them. Change, the fourth being change. They are working in small groups. So what they do every week, they change the group dynamics. So in that way, he gets to meet all his friends. New teachers come in, the schedules change, environment for at times, sometimes he's sitting on the floor and studying, sometimes he's sitting on the bed and studying, sometimes he's on the table. So it's not mundane and it's not monotonous. So change is beautifully brought in for him at least. Fifth being the content. Again, a very important aspect, like I previously mentioned, the teachers have made sure to select content that suits the online platform. They implement fun engagements which can be introduced. It could be explained beautifully. Most importantly, recapped. So they ensure the interest level of all their learners is maintained, and it also motivates them further. Last but not the least, the closure. As an educator and as a parent, this is very, very important for me, because something that has been introduced has to have a significant end. The lesson, the topic, the concept has to be wrapped up in that particular class. I would not prefer it to be carried forward the next day. So that's why that closure is very important. And that's why I previously mentioned the content selected is very, very important and is very well picked up and planned. So at the end of the lesson, his teachers make sure they do a quick recap, they summarize what has been taught, and they encourage every child to share their learning. And again, that's possible right now because they're only 4 and 5. They also now have made sure that the sharing, the experience is in written form. So this, actually helps my son for the simple reason he knows I have to pay attention. I cannot lose focus because Miss is going to ask me at the end of the class, what did I learn today? And then that gets uploaded. The teacher gives immediate feedback. So it's very, very good for him, and I'm sure for all the other students. And they're also very aware because it's going to be public. Whatever they're going to write, it's going to be public. So it's fun. Okay. But so these were the 6 C's. But for all of this to sustain, Jehan, I'm going to answer your question here. For all of this to sustain, because this is going to continue, online learning is going to continue for a while. We parents need to understand the importance of the homeschool connect. We really need to understand that. So now emerges the educator in me, the PYP practitioner. So I follow this simple cycle at home. Okay, it's called the choose, reflect, and act. I'll go step by step for each one of them. Choose. I urge all parents, teachers, everyone for that matter, let's choose to support teachers, okay, and the children in this teaching and learning journey. There is only so much that a child can do online, a teacher can do online, and you can do as a parent. But if we get together, a lot more can be accomplished. So for my son, it's 30 to 40 minutes online. After that, it's my responsibility, right? I have to take it forward. I have to further facilitate and do something for him, with him. So that's very important. That's the choose aspect. Reflect, okay? We need to reflect on the learning that has taken place. Let's not just, switch on the system for them and say, okay, now it's your class, start. Let's be there around. This is an opportunity for us to see what the teacher is teaching. It's not about what she's teaching, but also how, okay? That's very, very important because each one of us has a different style. We are not wrong in our teaching, but it's important to understand how that teacher is particularly taking forward a lesson so that we can also assist in the same. Otherwise, the child is going to get royally confused. You will say something, teacher will say something, gone for the child. So that's why it's important we reflect. I make my notes for sure when I'm sitting down over there. Okay, this is what the teacher has taught and how I'm supposed to take it forward. I'm looking at the stories being narrated, such wonderful stories they come up with, like the drama teacher, the music teacher, it's not about just drama, mime, or it's not about just the instruments and music, but they beautifully blend it through a story. They arouse the curiosity with the child, and then we take it forward. So that's why we reflect. I'd just like to share one template. So how I'm going to reflect with my child, and I do it right now, is I saw, I felt, I learned. Okay, it's very simple, everyone. So I let my child write, what did you see today on your online class? Okay, if it's a video or what your teacher was speaking or what were your friends wearing, it's fine. It's fun stuff. But what did you feel? That's my takeaway, okay, which I'm going to look out for always. So how did you feel about the class? Were you okay? Did you feel sad? You couldn't answer some questions. So we coax and we ask him, why did he feel that particular manner? And of course, he's writing his learned column that I learned, okay, I learned numbers, I learned, language, literacy, whatever it is. So the felt column is what I take from him, and I start understanding why he felt that particular way and why probably he couldn't cope in that particular class, if at all that happened. And then I finally act. So I sit down with my child and I make the action plan. I urge all parents, let's not be imposing on our children, do this, do this, do this. Let's not dictate. Let them take ownership of their learning. Let them sit together and tell you, okay, this is what I need help with, and this is how I want the help. Okay, if they want to be independent, let it be for a while. If not, it's fine. We can always come in the forefront at that point in time. Let's be submarine parents at that point in time and not always hover around as helicopter parents. So, yes, and then we make our action plans together. And I know my child is a kinesthetic learner. So I try to get in games involved for him. He tells me what games he wants to play, and that's when my act comes in. Finally, we take the action. So whatever we've reflected upon in terms of our teaching and learning, okay, we take action to implement. How are we going to now enhance our skills? How are we going to enhance what we've learned? If we need help with something, how are we going to work towards it? So the action comes in now. As I said, my child is a kinesthetic learner. Sitting in one place is boring for him. So we sit together, and he and me actually sit together and decide a game. Okay, we'll play hopscotch to learn my numbers. Okay, I'm going to play even hopscotch with numerous literacy. So he comes up with the game, and all I have to do is remember from my notes, which I had made when I was sitting online, that, okay, this was where he was lacking and I need to help him in this. I will put it in somewhere in the game. He doesn't even know. And I have done my bit as a mother and an educator, and he's enjoyed the game. So yeah, that's what it is. And that's been a wonderful journey for me as a parent, taking it forward now with my child. And one thing I really like to say on this platform, I want to clap, literally clap for all the teachers out there. They are doing a fantastic job, and I think they deserve this. We've, banked thalis for everybody, for the medical fraternity, for the BMC workers, for the police, everybody. But why have we forgotten our teachers? I think they deserve that. Teacher Appreciation Week was happening. My son, narrated a short poem for all his teachers. I think we can do much more than this. I just want to take a bow for all the teachers and thank them from the bottom of my heart for being super, super amazing and just adapting so well and just keeping that connect going. Kudos to you, because you're working for home and from home. Thank you. Thank you, Fatema. Over to you. I hope I was well in time.
Yes, you were, and brilliant as always, Tasneem. Always so eloquent. Lots of takeaways for not just the parents, but also the educators. I loved your 6 Cs. You're going to be leading a lot of the workshops for the Mumbai chapter. And I love the clarity of thought as a parent and as an educator. And I think it goes back to what Jehan spoke about. Post-COVID-19, it is about the 50-50 partnership. It is about evolved parents like you taking responsibility for also the learning it and not only outsourcing it to school. And I think we're going to have to do this together, because there are parents like Tasneem out there as well. Let's not always brand parents in one bucket saying they only criticize. There are parents who are taking responsibility. So if there are parents watching you in action live, it's not because they're thinking whether your pronunciation is correct or your voice modulation, right, packed in enough content. It's also to take onus back with their child at home. I think we're just going to have to trust. I'm only getting that from everyone. We're just going to have to learn to trust each other. We have each other's back, and it is the Bermuda Triangle in mind, the good part, well, the triangle part of it.
The support structures.
Thank you, Tasneem. Yeah, Jehan. So thank you so much. Lots to look forward to. So log in, register with APER, because we have some action. We have some disruptions, and the thali is every the parent, the teacher, and our little one on that note, very, very patiently waiting in the wings almost for their grand performance. You can unmute yourself. Thank you so much, and a big round of applause for the patience. And did anyone say our children are not patient, not resilient? They get bored. I mean, hats off to 2 young ladies who have patiently heard us for over 2 hours now. Thank you, Pal and Kirti, all the way from Ratnagiri. Tell us your dreams, share with us what you want us to do as educators, because we definitely want to do everything that will help you enjoy learning, and so that come back to school, and so that you love us more as your teachers. Over to you.
Thank you, Fatima ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Kirti Saman from grade 6 SVM. Firstly, I would like to thank all the panelists for giving us a platform where students are allowed to express their views about their education wish list. And I would also like to thank my school for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this session. Answering to Jehan sir's question, I am actually enjoying my quarantine, and My mother is a lawyer and she goes to court for practicing, but now she's at home and I'm happy for that. But my father, as he's a politician, for surveys, for meetings, he has to go. So I'm actually worried a bit, but yeah, I'm enjoying and I'm getting time from everybody to me, and we all are enjoying together. So, talking about my education wish list, I would like to begin with the topic of value education. Most of the schools have value education or life skills as a subject, but it is not given as importance which is given as compared to the other subjects. So, I think this subject should be compulsory from grade 1 to higher grades, because as we are students, we should be taught the do's and don'ts of life or the good values of life, so that we grow being a responsible citizen, and we help others in surrounding. We will spread happiness and peace instead of violence and crime. Just like math and science, students should be also taught how to face the daily life challenges, and to be not just to be a successful academic student, but also to be a good human. So similarly, one more subject which is not given much importance is environmental studies. So in today's times of corona crisis, we are realizing how much harm we have done to the environment. So if the students are taught to care for and respect the environment, maybe after growing up, as grown-ups, we won't harm the environment and pollute it. So students, the education system should tell students, or students should be taught that environment provides us for needs and not for greed. So like the education module should also focus on self-assessment, which is a technique widely used in the schools of Finland and UK. So, for example, when I study at home, I write tables, I write prose, and my mother asks me to be my own teacher and check that. So, by that, I understand where I am going wrong and I avoid the similar mistakes in future. So, my school uses play and learn and e-learning process, the technique of teaching, and through this I understand everything and my concepts are clear. So I think if this process is used in every school, I guess students will grasp everything easily. So our school is starting from 21st of this month, and I am very eager to meet all my friends, and we also had 2-3 Zoom meetings wherein we enjoyed, we had fun for the interaction of teachers and students. We had really a fun, and I'm much more excited to meet my teachers and friends in the physical world. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Is she really in grade 6?
Yeah, Kirti, I have to just kind of all in the show. We've got huge messages from everyone. Yeah. You've been very inspirational, Kirti. You should have been the educator.
I was just going to say that.
Life skills. You've spoken about being a good human being. You've spoken about joy, you've spoken about fun, and you've spoken about the environment. You know what? Every teacher listening to you is going to make a note, and Kirti, they're going to send it to you. You're going to grade them and say, you did well, you did not.
I think Fatema, we should promote that these children should be a part of the education department.
Yes. And the fact that her father's...
Yes, it's easier.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So proud of you, Kirti. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
thank you for your patience, for patiently listening to all of us and so beautifully sharing your thoughts. For you, Pal, you actually deserve an award. You're the last one out there. You've been as patient, and over to you, Pal. Share your thoughts with us.
Everybody. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody here for giving me this opportunity and mostly considering my views. So, like answering Jehan's question, I really enjoy my quarantine as well. Just one thing, my parents are doctors, so they have to go out daily. So, still, that's kind of fine. I still enjoy. So, moving on to my wish list. First of all, I like all the teachers who are like online class. I really want to also use visual aids as well as project learning and because you speak up your I think given on the overall performance because it should be also based on the attentiveness of the student, how she communicates, as well as personality development. There should be an increase of emotional quotient. Now, what is emotional quotient? Emotional quotient is the ability that you understand your own as well as the others' feelings. So, like from we also can do something like the schools in Japan have done. Like they have their students to clean their own schools instead of making the maids to clean their schools. This also improved the responsibility and the teamwork of the students. I really love the idea, as well as in for the primary years in Japan, from grade 1 to grade 3, they are all based on personality development. And directly from grade 4, they have all that academics exams. As well as I also think that after school workshops should also be held to just because we don't know what other children might be having as an extracurricular activity, right? So to enhance that activity, we must also have after school workshops. And last but not the least, I really think financial literacy should be a subject in school because finance, everybody needs it. So in the future years, a student must be financially sound. So I really think it should be incorporated both for primary and the secondary and high schools. Thank you.
Gosh, from where did you get these kids?
Yeah, Shubhadra, I'm going to say all of us should actually go back. They should have reading. They've told us exactly what we need to do. They want financial literacy. They don't want math and science. They want to save the environment for their own children. They want life skills where they learn how to build relationships. In themselves.
Amazing.
This education in itself, then why are we structured with our English, math, and science, history, geography, and that report card that tells us I'm an A+, or seriously. An A and a B-. And let's not talk about who actually is ruling.
And love the fact that she spoke about emotional quotient. I mean, the EQ.
I love that you have researched when you came here for this discussion. You've given us ideas. I dare say you've opened our world up and everyone's Googling Japanese system at the moment. Thanks to your direction. Pal, you've got us thinking. Kirti, Pal, I say for last, you were the best. You've given us a lot to think about. And this is our commitment as educators, that we're going to listen to everything you've said, and we're going to deliver. The report card will be signed by you at the end of the year. The pressure is on us. Deliver your dreams now. Thank you very much. On that note, I know it's been a long journey going out the roadmap so everyone knows what to expect. I will not take more than a minute, and then we can all go and enjoy our Friday evening. On that note, I'm going to go off screen. I'm sharing my screen with you all. This is Fatema's slides, but I'm going to walk you through this very, very quickly. And ma'am, can you just indicate whether you can screen? Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
let's
go to
for
just
it.
go to full screen.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Jehan, but if for some reason it's not allowing me, so
Okay,
it's okay.
fine.
Let's just go roll with this. Right. So the Mumbai chapter roadmap, there are about 5 things that we have for you this evening. I'm just going to wait for a moment. My internet connection is a bit unstable. Right. The first one is our motto. Second is the leadership conclaves that we have planned for the school leadership team, including management. The courses to be expected during the course of the year. Coffee and conversations. Shubhadra spoke about it. It's about disconnect through conversations, through communication, help us move forward as an industry. And we want more kids to be a part of the world. We're going to learn from them. So the student engagements are to be expected through schools, through clusters. That's the idea. Honestly, I think it's important to recognize that COVID-19 has told us that one man cannot do it all. It is going to be all of us coming together. Our motto, therefore, is collaborate and connect. And connect. Anybody who has an opinion, a perspective that can add value, we're bringing in as part of the Mumbai APER chapter, and we're going to make those connections. So starting up with our leadership conclaves is basically what Steve Jobs always spoke about. It's a famous quote. You know, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. And for the longest time, this has been my favorite quote. Don't create more followers, create more leaders. It is your pressure, it's the pressures on you, leadership team, to recognize that you are creating your bench strength. And that is innovation with the pre-COVID-19 era. What can you expect? We're going to talk about change management. We're going to talk about preparedness. We're going to talk about capacity building, because of course, one of the fallouts of this is people look at teachers and everyone are going to want to embrace them as part of their story. So how do you build your own capacity if you know teachers might find their happiness elsewhere? Very important question, a real question. It's not only about the glamour of the curriculum redesign, but there are certain practical things we need to face as leadership teams. It's conflict and complexity management. Jehan touched this. These are volatile times. There is going to, if there was conflict now is a third dimension. If there was complexity, will be multi, because it keeps coming to us. This is not going away. What can we do as leaders to put our heads together? Communication and marketing, big one. We spoke about, Badra spoke about it. It is also about marketing. It is also about branding. I know many schools have used social media successfully to get their point across and distinguish themselves. Why can't you? This is what the leadership conclave will talk about. And the important one, but this is going to be crucial. I'll led the way by saying financial literacy is critical for primary years. I dare say that a principal needs to understand budgets and planning and needs to use contingencies. IT budget, least amount. Teacher, least amount. Most hoardings, that budget goes through the roof. Guys, think about it. What are you marketing if you don't have your heart and soul in place? That's budget and planning for all the leadership team. Next one. If one plan doesn't work, change the plan. You can never change the goal. You're not going to try classroom because COVID-19 has told you there's no classroom. You're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to embrace And if one plan doesn't work, what's the next one? That's what our educator upskilling is. And I say educator because for me, the educator is also the administrative team member in your school. It is a very part of what we do. It's not just the teacher in the classroom, because our journey begins by that bus conductor, the bus driver, the Didi or the marshal who receives the child. That for me is the educator, because everyone in contact with a child today is an educator. It's the educator upskilling roadmap that we have, and lots of it. So we're going to have to find strategies. We're going to have to equip ourselves with sport, with drama, with music. We're just going to have to figure out how to do this.
Each of you have an access to audiences different.
STEAM incorporation in the lesson plans. We're going to have to think about it as interdisciplinary. We cannot now talk about history, geography separately. We're going to have to, assessments are going to take a whole different dimension. And like Kirti and Pal said, life skills, why aren't we assessing it? Why isn't it graded? Why aren't you awarding me for decision making? Why aren't you awarding relationship? Why are you only awarding me on my math grade? It's in with 21st century skills. Life skills, how to fit it in. Digital literacy, very, very important one. This is upfront for the educators. And of course, we cannot leave the very important stakeholder, the parent, very eloquently pointed out. I am an evolved parent in my mind, but there is a good sport parent and a bad sport parent. We're going to bring everyone together. For me, everyone's coping. There is no good or bad, all together. And if someone doesn't know, we orient them. Lots of parental workshops in West can make sure their parents participate as well. And the three big seminars, the big ticket ones, the important ones are: one, parenting a 22nd century learners. You've just heard it from these two beautiful girls. They are way ahead of their time. They're way ahead of us. So we are not parenting a 21st century learner. We are parenting a 22nd century learner, because they want to know it. What can we do, therefore, to cope with them in our homes? Time management. I mean, we seem to be running all the time as parents. What can we do, therefore, to balance it out? And the last one is upskilling in COVID-19 times. It's the next 24 to, in my mind, that'll help us stay focused. And so the last one is, of course, I often say that, you know what, we think we're inspiring these kids today. A big lesson learned for all of us is that they inspire us, and they inspire us to therefore do more. I think the takeaways from what these children have spoken about was how to package life skills. So our student engagements, roll your students in as well. Farzana ma'am mentioned it's not, please don't view it as another thing. View it as an investment of time, not money, because money is not going to be the determinant here. Money is just one factor, and it's going to be very cost effective, because the idea is to build communities. That's the big message with Mumbai APER. So it's study skills, it's personal goal setting, because this is important for the times ahead. These are only a few of the workshops we've already put out. We might look at the response and have them more frequently. Like we might have a rookie, we might have a rookie plus, we might have a pro version, depending on the level of the children, the teachers, the parents. But this is our large focus as the Mumbai chapter. You've heard from all these wonderful stalwarts, professionals. The Ashoka Group Nasik is not in representation here, but they're going to be a part of it. You've already heard from the students of Sant Ramkash Vidya Mandir, but you're going to hear it from the leadership team, Monica Jaiswal and Kajal Sippy and the teachers with us at SVM Ratnagiri. Shishu Vihar is here. Tasneem is going to be leading a few of them. SLN, Farzana Dohadwalla will be there. Fatema Agarkar is part of the Agarkar Center of Excellence. My partner in crime. We have Jehan's team, professionals, and the leadership. She's excited about it. Is Little Angels International School. going to lead the way along with our teachers. You heard them? You're excited what? Therefore, next steps. Become an APER member today. It's go through the website. It's eca-india.org. All the information there. Very active on Insta, very active on Facebook, also on YouTube, also on LinkedIn. There are monthly newsletters that are going to follow with the Mumbai workshops recorded. If you don't know where to go, just send us an email on info@asportsedu.com, and we will have Mansi put this Mumbai chapter roadmap up for you so you can refer it at any point. On that note, thank you for being a wonderful audience, and we're looking forward to partnering all of you shortly. Thank you, you very patient audience. Thank you all the panelists. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege. It's been a huge honor to welcome all of you and give us your blessings. Partner with us. Lots of innovations ahead. And on that note, have a wonderful Friday evening. Stay home, stay safe. Have a good weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Kids. See
Good
you
luck,
all.
kids. Good luck, kids.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Jehan.